Ready to climb the corporate ladder of success? Let the stairs show you the way. In today's fast-changing world, success requires more than just hard work. It demands adaptability, emotional intelligence, and digital savvy. Every last Wednesday of the month from 4 to 5 p.m., we bring you the strategies and stories you need to thrive. Hear from industry trailblazers and visionaries sharing their secrets, how to network like a pro, harness the power of mentorship, and stay ahead in your career. Because climbing the ladder isn't about the corner office anymore. It's about thinking big, staying agile, and making meaningful connections. So, whether you're just starting out or chasing the next big leap, join us on the stairs. Let's elevate your career together on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in It's Me and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts with the twists. Because, of course, we're having an abridged version of the show. The students' debate is still ongoing. And I did promise you that today we're bringing a scientist into the studio. Joyce was so excited, I could tell, that she got one of her, her people, kindred spirits. But my guest in the studio, I've known him for years. And during COVID, he did something amazing that shot him to fame. I mean, he walked into this office and all the girls knew him. How? But anyway, I'm going to introduce my guest in a bit. Welcome to the show. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube. You could join the conversation on X, on WhatsApp if you're listening from outside of the country. This is The Stairs. We'll start in a bit as I introduce you to my guest.
Ready to climb the corporate ladder of success? Let the stairs show you the way. In today's fast-changing world, success requires more than just hard work. It demands adaptability, emotional intelligence, and digital savvy. Every last Wednesday of the month from 4 to 5 p.m., we bring you the strategies and stories you need to thrive. Hear from industry trailblazers and visionaries sharing their secrets, how to network like a pro, harness the power of mentorship, and stay ahead in your career. Because climbing the ladder isn't about the corner office anymore. It's about thinking big, staying agile, and making meaningful connections. So, whether you're just starting out or chasing the next big leap, join us on the stairs. Let's elevate your career together on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Benny can serve you the way we do.
We go all the way.
You guys are always keeping your voice down when you're benefiting from the government.
I just read before that most will swallow billions of naira. This one now, Scorpion will soon swallow billions.
Then my landlord give me notice because I decided to go and vote my opponent.
Is it Nigeria the only country in this world that everything they do, they will do it upside down?
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, your #1 station for talk. Let's talk.
This isn't a Game of Thrones. It's the game of information.
The German foreign minister went to Beijing to reaffirm that Europe would not let China invade Taiwan.
And more information.
Government can't keep taking the fall for your own mess, for your own mistakes.
More information.
We did some work on the Third Mainland Bridge before. Where are there potholes now?
You want to play?
Political way to destroy. Let me tell you.
It's game on. Let the games begin.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
we're back. It's still the stairs. Every month we highlight one person, one Nigerian, an African, a black person who's done something that's outstanding and worthy of note. And my guest today is a very notable person. Like I said, all the ladies love him, but most importantly, he's a scientist. I want to give you his bio. Tell you a little bit about him, and then of course you will be able to understand why everyone is so excited to have him in the studio. First and foremost, you know me, I like to talk about my Cross Riverians. He's from Cross River State. We're very proud people, and during COVID, I didn't even realize that that's what happened during COVID. I just knew that somebody did it. I didn't know that it was somebody I knew who did something. And I remember when Bill Gates said that, somewhat posited that Africans were going to suffer the most during COVID. But I'm guessing that my guest today helped to turn that tide, and Africans actually survived better, and we sort of fared well during COVID. I'm stalling. Can you tell that I'm stalling? I'm just stalling because I want to get his bio out properly. He deserves the accolades, and then we will get straight into the interview. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go live, you might see my guest's face, and that way you can tell who is in the studio. I'm just stalling for a few more seconds, and then I will let you know who the guest is. My guest is Dr. Abasi Eneobong. He was born June 20th, 1985. He's a Nigerian biomedical scientist and entrepreneur. He holds a master's degree in human molecular genetics from the Imperial College in London, and he holds a PhD in cancer biology from the Bart and the London School of Medicine and Dentistry in England. Now, since September 2023, he's been the founder and CEO of Syndicate Bio, a health technology company driving genomics and precision medicine initiatives in global healthcare. Now, prior to this, in 2019, Abasi served as the co-founder and CEO of 54 Gene Incorporated. It's a defunct Nigerian health and biotech firm specialized in African genomics, which he grew to a valuation of nearly $200 million before stepping down in October of 2022. Now, in 2019, Abasi, through the 54 Gene Incorporated, started developing a Pan-African DNA biobank, the first of its kind, which collected above 300,000 unique human samples and corresponding genomic biodata by 2022. Through 54 Gene, he created the African Center for Transnational Genomics, ACTG. The ACTG was launched as a non-profit organization to harness the transnational genetic research across Africa by providing grants, fellowships, internships, and training for medical students and researchers. In February of 2020, Abasi led 54 Gene team to team up with Nigerian scientists to launch a study investigating genetic causes of non-communicable diseases in Nigeria. Wow. That's interesting. During COVID, Abasi, through 54G, raised Nigeria's COVID-19 testing capacity. Now, this is where the meat is. In March of 2020, he launched a $500,000 fund to tackle COVID, the COVID-19 testing. Yes, the one that you and I all went for. He Why are you laughing? Yeah. 54G opened the fund by donating $150,000 within 24 hours. He also secured additional 350,000 naira from partners, including $350,000. I beg your pardon. Oh my God. He also got partners, including the Union Bank and several other people, to support it. Since April 2020, 54G started launching mobile laboratories. Yes, mobile laboratories in Nigeria. The mobile labs were fully kitted container structures designed to reduce the logistical challenges involved in shipping samples to another location for processing. I remember, you'd have to do. I still have COVID testing kits in my house. Well, what Abasi did was make it easy for testing to happen at different locations at the same time. By the way, he's happily married to, for those of you who love Nollywood, Idima Okoje. Abasi, so good to have you join us in the studio. I know that I have been waiting to interview you, but I'm excited to have you in the studio, just like everybody else who's listening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was wondering when you were going to invite me.
Well, you're not a politician, and that's my forte. So it's, for the average Nigerian, they're just listening to English. What did this guy do during COVID? But first and foremost, how did you come up with this idea? And what led you to say, look, we can do this here? Well, yeah.
Thank you, Mimi, for introducing me, for inviting me.
It's okay. I introduced you.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. I started off I went to university in Nigeria, University of Calabar.
Malabites and Malabresses.
Yep. I don't know why we did that. Okay. And, I think everything has kind of just been timing and, luck, if you would. So at the time I studied genetics and biotechnology, I wanted to study medicine and surgery. I applied to another university to study medicine and surgery. I was waiting for that university to start. But I lived in Calabar with my parents who were academics, etc. And a friend of mine came from outside town for orientation at the beginning of the year and decided to stop by to see me. And as I was going through the list of people who were supposed to be orientating, I saw my name under a department called genetics and biotechnology, and I'm like, I didn't apply for this.
But you did apply for something.
Yeah, but for something else. And, I didn't even think that, I was going to go there. So, while I was waiting for medicine and surgery in the other university to start, because back then in Nigeria,
Yeah, you could apply multiple times.
Yeah, and start times were staggered, right?
Yes.
Universities were not necessarily all aligned. I decided, I'm going to start medicine and genetics just to keep myself busy. And I remember going for the beginning, like the orientation course or class. And I learned about genetics and how at the time it held the potential of treating diseases what we call rare diseases, where you don't have drugs, things like Huntington's disease, which is like a muscle, wasting disease and things like that. And so I started thinking, I want to be able to cure disease, and I asked myself, why did I want to do medicine? And I thought that the broad reason I wanted to do medicine was because I wanted to cure disease and help people live healthier lives. And so I didn't necessarily have to be a clinician, right? I could do it in different ways. And
you could be a researcher.
I could be a researcher. So I finished from University of Calabar. And by the way, just to point out, at the time, there were only 2 universities doing genetics as bachelors. I never really had labs because we didn't have a lab, right?
Tell me about it.
And you know, the sad thing is that this was like 26 years ago. The situation hasn't changed much, right? So many universities across Nigeria don't have the infrastructure for practicals.
Not just for sciences. I went to Unicol. I did linguistics, and I majored in communications. We had no sound labs. We had nothing. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to do better there. But you know, when I got into Imperial College, you know, two things happened. Obviously, that was the first time I got to do practical and stuff. But the thing that actually happened that I guess pointed me in this direction was I remember in class they were teaching us about genome diversity, and there was a project then called the HapMap project, which was this project that had sequenced a few people across the world. And these people were meant to be representative of the diversity, genetic diversity in the world. And in the HapMap project at the time, this was in 2008, they said the sequence is the process of generating genetic data from like your biological cells, like your blood or saliva. And I remember they told us that they selected Yoruba, the people representing the Yoruba tribe, because they were representative of all of Africa.
Hold that thought. We're going to go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
What is health? It's more than the absence of illness. It's the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. But let's delve deeper. Health is the heartbeat of life. It's the rhythm that keeps us moving forward. The pulse that echoes our vitality. It's a symphony of balance and harmony, resonating in every aspect of our existence. Health is a silent conductor, orchestrating the dance between the body and mind. It's the energy that propels us towards our dreams and aspirations. It is the foundation upon which we build our futures. So, what is health to you? Join me, Kofi Bartels, this and every Thursday for Health Thursday, 8 a.m. on the Morning Crossfire as we explore important issues affecting your health. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Non-stop conversation, never-ending discussion.
All in one station.
Idle refineries scalp 13 trillion naira as NNPC admits waste.
Elections have to be free, fair, transparent. That is when people will be interested in the electoral process.
It's a tiny percentage of them that are our leaders.
People are moving to 5G and they are still sitting back on 2G and making noise about it.
Do you think that mandatory e-transmission of polling results would curb electoral malpractice?
Nigeria will move forward.
I am not expecting anything from this on your mandate with Afghan National Assembly led by Babylon.
It's Nigeria's station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Not just the news or information.
It is more than you ask for.
What we ask when we got inside this organization is meant to help us out, and the people working there are not helping us out.
You have a situation where people say it's normal that if your husband doesn't beat you, then he doesn't love you.
Where madness seems to be normalized, you will become mad.
And more of the rush, you just can't stop.
It's the station for more talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's still the stairs. We have Dr. Abasi Eneobong in the studio with us, and we're talking about how he decided that he was going to be, how do you call it again?
Geneticist.
It's a tongue twister. It's a real tongue twister. A geneticist. Yes, and that means that your specialty is gene.
Yeah, one of my specialties.
Wow, you're cocky. You're so cocky. But quickly, you were telling us that the research that you first experienced in college, Imperial College, was that the Africans were, according to that research, represented by Yorubas.
Yes. And, you know, again, this was the issue with genetics back then. But when you think about it, then it cost a lot of money to sequence a human person. Remember, sequencing initially used to cost like $1 billion for the first gene, for the first individual. It cost $1 billion to sequence the first person.
Why does it cost so much?
Today, that has come down to, you know, a few $100s. right? But
it's quite a fall.
Which is still, it's quite a fall, right? But back then in like the 2008, it was still quite expensive. And we didn't have the technologies, we didn't have storage, data, cloud. So part of that was that there was a technical limitation to genetics. And so we had to, as a field, we had to look at what we called homogeneous populations, populations without much diversity. But obviously, as cloud computing improved, and as the technology improved and costs came down, what we have now seen is that in genetics, diversity is the key, right? Because diversity tells you, imagine a jigsaw puzzle, right, with different pieces. What we were doing before was like you're taking some pieces and you have a good idea, but you don't really know, you still have a lot of holes in certain places.
Yeah.
It's actually that diversity, what we call genetic variants, that tell us more about a people, but also tells us more about a disease, right? And so our genes, let's just talk a little bit about genes. Our genes, the way I describe genes is everybody here listening has a phone, probably. And in your phone, you have an app, right, that you use to do banking or something. But that app has a code. The people who made that app use a series of codes that said, give this app this color, give it this functions. That's what your genes are, right? And so your genes say, Maryann is going to be, I don't want to describe, let me describe myself. So my genes will say Abasi is going to be 6'2", comes from a family with diabetes. So there's going to be some insulin resistance in that family. But in my case, maybe there's not, cancer, right, hereditary cancer. Whereas in another family, there is hereditary cancer, there's heart disease.
You can tell all of that from
all of
genes.
This in the genes, yes. So in healthcare today, almost every disease has a genetic basis. Now, some diseases require genes and environment to work in concert. And then some diseases just require the genes, right? So there are some diseases that once you have that predisposition, there's nothing you can do.
More like diabetes.
Diabetes, so there's two types of diabetes, right? So type 1 diabetes, yes, the gene. Once you have that gene, you're having diabetes. Type 2 diabetes requires environmental factors. So in my family, we have type 2, which means I should really be doing a better job, right, in trying to silence the environmental triggers, right? So, but yeah, the same thing with cancer. So every cancer is genetic, because for a cancer to happen, you need to have a genetic mutation, right? So think about a cancer, you have these protective mechanisms in the body, which we call oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. They are required for basic function. Everybody has them.
Okay.
Think about it as oncogenes is you're turning on a switch, and tumor suppressor, you're turning off a switch. They are regulators, right, that help say to your body, divide, because let me go back a little bit.
Dial it down a bit, because you don't want to lose us.
All right, so think about it this way. Everything you're doing today, the reason you are where you are, your body is rapidly dividing. Your cells are growing, right? There's a rapid division of cells in a body. That's why your skin is shedding every day, because your cells are dividing. That's how you're growing. Cells divide, die, new cells divide, die. There's a process behind all of that says to a cell, divide. Okay, you've divided enough, stop. Right, so that's what is necessary for basic living. Cancer, on the other hand, those things that tell you to stop are not working. So either it says divide, but the thing that says to stop is not working, so it just keeps dividing. So cancer becomes an uncontrollable growth, right? And all of that is affected from the genetics part of things.
Can I bring you back?
Okay,
because
sorry.
I want to talk. I want to bring you back another day, because I need more time to talk about this gene mutation. And, because I'm thinking, from what I'm hearing, we all need to check out what's in our genes.
We do. I don't want to plug my current company, but that's kind of what we do.
Yes, you can.
Okay. I mean, that's what we do, right? So
what's your current company?
Syndicate Bio.
Okay, great.
And you can actually, today in Nigeria, we've set it up. We have a lab. You can check your genes. You can check whether you have any hereditary. By hereditary, we mean passed from family to family cancer genes. And apparently in Nigeria, there is a lot of it. There's cases.
Sore point for me.
Yeah. There's a case that we're actually dealing with. The person just died, 24-year-old breast cancer female, right? There's a lot of these things. The things that, we used to say were witchcraft,
Ignorant.
It's ignorance. Some of it is just information. And, your genes affect not just cancers, your heart disease risk, blood, anemia. There's a lot of anemia cases. But we don't, Nigeria and Africa in general hasn't really built what we'll call a non-communicable disease resilient system. We focused a lot on infectious diseases, malaria, typhoid, and the global funders, for some reason, just want to keep funding that.
Those. Could it also be that because we're not pushing for the other ones to be funded?
Trust me, some people have tried to push, and for
on
whatever.
On what scale?
I don't know, right? But and I think
because when I was a kid, maybe as a teenager, there was a thing called rollback malaria. You'd always see funders, international funding and supporters, and for tiny epidemics, yes, you would see people funding that. So maybe that's what the government continuously pushed.
I mean, so there was a time for that, right? There was a time where it seemed like infectious diseases were the predominant disease burden. Right now, non-communicable diseases, so these are non-infectious diseases, have become the dominant disease burden, right? But unfortunately, we don't have the systems to treat those things. And the way you treat non-communicable diseases is data, right? And that goes to your genes, the interplay of your genes, being able to even understand what it's saying. It's actually more expensive, to be honest.
I know.
But again, this is where knowing your risk helps reduce that cost. Let me give you an example. There's a condition that we call familial adenomatous polyposis. Short is FAP, right? We call it FAP for short. It's a hereditary condition, meaning it's passed from parent to offspring, that result in polyps. Polyps are like, let's just call them boils, right? In your colon, right?
Oh.
And that can lead to various cancers like colorectal cancer, potentially pancreatic cancer. Now, the thing with FAP is that if your child has FAP, and yes, there are children who have FAP today, you need to start doing colonoscopies from 10 to 12 years of age.
What?
Yes.
How do you tell? How can you tell that you have FAP, really?
It's a test. It's a genetic test.
So when you start testing, when you give birth?
You can, I mean, we've not done this, but in some parts of the world, there are things called newborn screening programs where parents can test as soon as with like just a prick on the toe,
because I was about to say, I hope it's non-lethal because
nothing is lethal.
You're not exposing the child to radiation or whatever.
No, it's basically a blood. It's like a prick, right? You take the blood in a dry spot card, so it's like a drop of blood, and it's run in a lab. The child is not there, right? And you get to see what disease risk the child has. Now, to go back to that FAP, why I'm bringing it up is that there is a case I'm aware of in Nigeria of two brothers in their 20s. Now, the thing with FAP is that you can prevent cancer if you catch it early, because the treatment modality is that if you see a polyp forming, so you're doing the test to check for polyps, because once the first set of polyps form, you can surgically remove it.
Oh.
Right? And that significantly increases the odds that you will not have cancer. Right? Now, if you do not remove it, it is most likely going to lead to colorectal cancer. And so you end up with people in their 20s who have colorectal is cancer of the colon and the rectum, right? So
And the rectum.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that part. Oh dear.
Yeah. But again, that's the point. Sometimes we're afraid of these things, and rightfully so. But they are tools, and again, with cancer, and this month is actually cancer.
Yes.
This is why we're talking a little bit
cancer
about
awareness.
Cancer awareness. The whole idea is with cancer is if you can detect it early or prevent it, your chances of survival are increased, right? So early detection can increase survival to 90% plus, and it's cheaper to even deal with at the time. Nigeria has one of the worst numbers when it comes to cancer survivorship, and that's because we catch cancer at stage 3, stage 4 when it's already metastatic, and we don't even have the drugs here to treat those.
So I want to ask. Our conversation has gone to cancer, unfortunately, and we have we can move so back. Many people online who want to ask questions, and I have just 5 minutes because our time is almost gone. But a quick question, Lagos, the phone lines are open. You can join the conversation. 0201 277 0993 0201 277 0993 is the number to call. I'll give everybody 30 seconds each. I promise that I will bring Dr. Abasi again. I will bring him back because we have to have this gene conversation is a long conversation, and I need to give you time to explain. Today we wanted to talk about him and just celebrate him, but he's a doctor, so he has to be his good self. There are those who say, for me, because my mom died from cancer, that going for mammograms is exposing you to radiation and maybe increasing your chances of having, and that there are people who say, well, it's better to go get a breast scan than to have. Can you help us explain that? All right,
so again, there's different types of cancers, right? There's hereditary and there's sporadic, right? So hereditary means it's in your family.
So
right?
In ours we had none before now.
Well, you're not sure.
No, we didn't have. At least I know that we had diabetes of sorts in my mother's family. But
the reason I say we're not sure is because we're not always diagnosing cancer before.
At the time,
right?
Yeah.
So here is the tool to know if cancer is in the family, if it's hereditary. Mm-hmm. The age at which the person had cancer. Mm-hmm. So typically, as a rule of thumb, if cancer was had 50 years to below, right? Sometimes borderline 50, then there's a strong chance that there is a hereditary cancer. Mm-hmm. The other way to know if cancer is in the family is if there's multiple cancers on one side. Oh. Right? And that could be at any age, right? Okay. Or if you have if there's someone in the family who has cancer but has multiple primary cancers. So there's a case that, we've treated where the person has both breast and colorectal primary cancers. And so, there's a test to know, am I at risk for a hereditary cancer? Now, in this case, one of the things you could do is to do a hereditary cancer test. It's a blood test. All it requires is blood, just like you would do a malaria test.
How affordable is it? I'm asking on behalf of my people because they're already asking me on social media.
It's so.
Where is this company? How do we get to it?
You can. It's affordable. It's affordable.
It's pocket friendly.
It's okay. I'll give you the price. It's between 150,000, 600,000 naira, depending on the panel you choose. Before we came into this market, people were doing a single gene test for over 1 million naira. Our panels, we do panels where the 450,000 naira, you can check as much as up to 50 genes. The 600,000 naira, it's 300 genes. So
that does just look like it looks like one of those tests that you do. You just when you want to find out if you are allergic,
something like that
allergy test
exactly.
that you just put like a lot of.
It will run different genes and it will tell you what the risk is. And then if there was a risk for, say, breast cancer, then you now know that, yes, you really need to get on some type of early detection plan like a mammography. And if there is no risk, it will tell you that you don't have a hereditary cancer risk, which means you probably don't need to do that as frequently at that age, right? So again, and it that's for breast cancer. The same goes for like colorectal. We have tests for pancreatic cancer. melanomas.
I want to bring you back so that we can talk about genes. Unfortunately, we have just 1 minute, but people need to find you on social media. So on this station, people like to ask questions. Unfortunately, we do not have time to ask those questions. But give us your word that you'll come back.
I will come back, yeah.
Because I like this.
I don't like talking about myself if we're not talking about myself.
So at least we're going to be talking about genes.
Well, yeah, we can talk about genes. And
I love it. I love it. So how can we find you on social media? Because people want to ask you questions. And then they can ask you about your company on social media, because I don't want to be given a receipt.
I guess I'm on Instagram at Abasi Eneobong.
I can spell it Eneobong, like Femi Obong Daniels. Yes.
Yes, and the same name on LinkedIn. There's a...
Yes, so go on LinkedIn. Dr. Abasi Eneobong has been in the studio. He is a geneticist. Did I get it right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, and if you want to know more about your genes, what you carry or what you do not carry, and how safe you can be, then he's the guy for you. Thank you so much for coming. I wish we had more time so we can talk. I will bring him back, Lagos. I promise you. I see your messages. I will bring him back and we'll talk more about genes and all you need to know about genes. And then maybe he can tell us why he started his 2 companies. Well, now he's in another company, but yes, why he started. Yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Lagos, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, don't forget, at the top of the hour, I beg to differ with the students will begin.
Let us stand in the gaps for you
and connect you to the rest of the world.
And Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu is shown on state television visiting troops fighting in Ukraine. The organization of the petroleum
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.